Good morning, everybody. Check out this hat. I just found this on my shelf. I got this hat with my buddies Henry and Ugg when we played at Gordon Bros Hat Shop. They don't pay you in cash, they pay you in hats, as it turns out. And I have two of them instead of a paycheck, but I love them. They're great. They're actually really nice hats. I look like I just jumped out of the 20s, and it's awesome. Good morning. Today I want to talk about learning music in a current setting and why that can be dangerous if you don't follow certain rules, and kind of the two paths of music education that I'm seeing happen today. So, myself personally, I went to music school. I went to Berklee for not the whole time. I was a dropout. Don't worry. For a couple of semesters, and I gained a lot of music knowledge. I was always really into learning about harmony and music theory and composition and orchestration, arranging, all this stuff, even before school. So I was just kind of a sponge for this stuff. I am addicted to it. I'm reading this book right now. Most people are reading like nice love stories. I'm reading The Technique of Orchestration for fun. I don't know why. Anyway, so that was my route. I went to school and I finished school, and now I'm here and I have a music company and I do my stuff that way. And so I have a certain foundation of music that relies mostly on harmony and concepts and ideas and popular things that work, right? So now when I listen to a John Mayer song, I don't say, oh, that chord is so... I do say it. I don't say, oh, I love this song, this is really nice. I really like the lyrics and the melody. I say, oh my God, that use of the subdominant minor is so overused. I've heard that 4 minor so many times in so many pop songs. Now I hear when it's going to happen. My brain has been trained to listen to all these common music theory things. And so in some respects, it's a bad thing because it means that if I come up with something on my own that ends up being defined as one of these harmonic structures, I say to myself, oh, it's been done before. I know what that is. It's this kind of root motion, and that's too popular. I will not use it. I used to do that. I do a little bit less now because everything's been done before. That's the honest truth. Anyway, all that is bundled up into one school of thought, which is go to music school, learn music, understand the foundations, figure out your music theory and your harmony and all that stuff. The other school of thought is grab yourself a laptop, grab yourself a little MIDI keyboard, and just start making music. Go ahead. You're done. And I think it's awesome. I have no issue with that whatsoever. It's a really interesting time because there's so much knowledge on YouTube. There's so many tutorials. Anything you want to know about, you can go online. But honestly, I think college is going to be obsolete here pretty soon for most professions. I don't want to piss anybody off. Most professions, not all of them. But what can't you learn online right now? What can't you research on your own for a year and say, I'm in sales now. I'm in marketing. I learned graphic design. I mean, seriously. And then you start getting clients and you're done and you don't have any debt. That's a totally other story. I'm not going to get into that right now. But you can learn anything online, including music, including how to make beats. And if you choose not to, you don't have to look at music theory or harmony or any of that stuff, even for a second, which is really interesting to me. And here's what I think happens with that. So say you have the tree of all things music. At the bottom, you have the Baroque era and classical music and romantic. And at some point, it branches off into jazz and blues and all these different things, all these different genres come up. And now we're up here in modern pop. Lo-fi happened a few years ago. We have trap is still really popular, and all these different beat making styles are up at the top here that formed out of the advent of a laptop with Ableton and DJing and all these things. And now we're here. Started here, now we're here. Somebody coming into this, if they start at this top level and research this top level, this is what they get, right? You get just this chunk of stuff and you say, oh, this is music. And you say, okay, so music is surface level, right? And so when you make new music based on that, you end up making something that could be derivative or could be like so similar to what exists on that top level that you're not even aware that it's that similar because you haven't seen the whole scope of music. Don't take this the wrong way, but it's kind of like an ant being stuck in a little ant house box thing, and then all of a sudden you let him out into the real world, and he's like, my whole life has been a lie. So just something to consider. Imagine the same person coming into this music creation sphere, instead of going in on this top level, starts down here, or at least checks this area down here out a little bit and says, this is terrible, or wow, this is really interesting, or oh, I didn't know that you could do that with a saxophone, or a string, what? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a total eye-opening experience to go and check out this origin of music and see how far back you can go. So I just think it's interesting. So we really do have these two types of musicians coming up and growing. I'm not saying that these guys aren't educated. They are. They're just educated based on what's on YouTube right now, which is not everything. Everything on YouTube covers... you can find just about anything on YouTube, but it's not going to cover all of music history unless you know to look for it, right? It's the same thing if you go and you want to learn the next new Taylor Swift song. You can go online and it'll say, put your fingers here. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Put your fingers here. Play like this. Put your fingers here. Play like this. Taylor Swift. And while that's true, you don't even know what these chords are. You don't know why these chords work together. So you can totally learn that Taylor Swift song, but if you want to understand why it works, you have to go down and research. Anyway, food for thought. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Coffee with Max. Thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, opinions, or thoughts, leave them in the comment section below. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday.